Hello! Welcome back to my channel. It is me, Erica Basham, and today we are talking about so you want to talk dating and relationships. Now I just want to start off this video by acknowledging that, first of all, I want to acknowledge and validate your experiences. Everyone is different. Some people have had only one partner, some have had multiple. Everyone is different here. So I just want to kind of start the video off by saying this is a very subjective kind of conversation. And this isn't even me, this is not me preaching or doing a sermon or anything. This is actually just me providing some encouragement for anyone who needs it. So I would also like to start off by saying I am in no way or shape or form a relationship coach. I'm not a licensed and registered therapist. Although I am very interested in psychology, and that's the road I would like to go down, I'm currently a teacher and a behavioral therapist. So I understand my limitations, and I also want to start the video off by saying that I would like to just say that I'm speaking from my own personal experience as a human being and a person, and as a person in their mid-20s who's had I've had a significant amount of experience, enough that I can speak on this kind of subject. So, dating and relationships. First of all, you want to be in a good relationship. You want a good partner. You've got to be one. Yeah. So, in order to have a healthy relationship, you must embody one very important core value. And that would be, this virtue as well, is unconditional love. Now, I'm going to explain all of this, but that is the umbrella term that we are working with. Okay? But first, just remember that if one door closes, another will open. There are plenty of fish in the sea. So if you're going through experience where you're just like, you know what? This doesn't look like it's working out. Will I ever find my love? Like, will I always be single? You won't always be single. Don't think that way. Just remember that what is meant for you will come find you, and love yourself enough to walk away from what is not for you. That's all. That's just what it boils down to. Now, like I said, in order to have a good partner, you must also be one. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be selective and have standards when you're looking for a partner. You should do those things. Don't stop yourself. But keep in mind that just like being a good friend, you also have to be a good friend. And this also applies here. You need to be a good partner, okay? You want to have a good partner? Well, your partner needs a good partner too, okay? Kind of goes both ways here. So you must embody unconditional love. Now, something else that you should make sure you're careful with, and this includes friendships as well. When you start to ignore your moral compass just for this person and you're justifying that, that is problematic. So you don't want to be ignoring your moral compass for this person. Or for people, for friends too. This applies to friendships. And everything I'm saying in this video also applies to friendships, okay? So don't limit it to just romantic relationships. Although that is the focus at the moment. And so, yeah, just make sure that you are not ignoring your own morals and values and bypassing them just because you want this person so bad. Chances are, if you have to bypass your morals, this is just not a good fit for you, and honestly the relationship is going to end in flames in a dumpster fire. So just make sure you're not bypassing any of your morals and your beliefs for this person, as hard as that can be, I know. So under the umbrella of unconditional love, okay, you must have a shared mutual respect. Very important. You must also share mutual trust. Now, if you don't have trust in a relationship, you don't really have anything, do you? What do you have if you don't have trust? Right? It's very important. Now, another very important virtue would be communication. Both of you need to communicate all the time, all the things. And if you feel like, oh, maybe I'm texting this person too much, or I'm calling them too much, or I'm asking too many questions and I feel like I'm too much, you're not. If they think you're too much after that, that's not the person for you. You should be able to ask as many questions as you need for clarification, for reassurance, for affection, for whatever your needs are. You should be able to ask as many questions as you need. The right person will stick around and they will listen to every single thing you need to say because they love you that much. Simple as that, right? Everything I'm saying just sounds so easy, just sounds so simple. Obviously, these things are not. These are very complex, and nothing's black and white. This is all very subjective. Depends on the situation, depends on the person you're with, depends on so many things. But at the same time, if you are communicating with them, you both will grow stronger together. Now, if they're communicating with you, it's even better, right? Now you're both communicating, so now you know what's going on. Now, you can't always read your partner's mind, that's true. But if your partner is willing to at least tell you what the heck is going on in their mind, well, now you've got a firm foundation of like where to go next, right? Now you both can sit down and talk about what do we need, where do we go next? Because you need to know what's the next move. Meaning if you both are discussing, you're going to combine your finances, that's a big conversation. If you're going to have a joint account, you got to discuss all the things like how much money do we put into savings every month? How are we going about the singular credit card? How are we going to be paying that off while also paying our bills and also having fun money? Or if you're talking about moving in, that's another big conversation, right? Or if you're talking about marriage or getting engaged, or if you're talking about introducing your partner to your family members, that's a big conversation to have. Or introducing them to your friends, right? So these are all really significant conversations that will happen if this is the person for you. Just don't stress. Be prepared to sit down and have an honest conversation about look within, look internally, look and reflect. Think about what is it that you want. Then you would let your partner know and just tell them, hey, these are the things that I want. What about you? Remember, all your conversations should be very open-faced, very respectful, and also, if you're talking to your partner about how you feel, your feelings, and the conversation somehow ends in an argument, you might want to think about if that's the right kind of relationship for you. No conversations about your feelings should ever end in an argument. Your partner should be listening wholeheartedly, right? So you should never have a conversation about your feelings, and it should never end in an argument. That is just a red flag for any relationship, including friendships and whatnot. Okay, sounds like you're pretty much ready to date. Now you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. So as you search for your partner, if you do not have one yet, what are you looking for in a partner? What are the attributes, the virtues, the morals, the beliefs? What are the passions, the hobbies, the maybe career or jobs or financial status? Or what are you looking for in another person? Now, I even included financial status. That's not really important, but some people want a sugar mama or sugar daddy. I'm just kidding around. Some people really do want that, though. So all I'm saying is I'm not here to judge what you want. Go out there and figure out what is it you actually want. Figure out what you want in a partner, in a person. And remember, this is really important that you select exactly what you're looking for, because you don't want to be with someone who you want to change, right? You want to be with someone who you love for who they are, completely, unconditionally. That's the whole point of unconditional love. So you don't want to be dating a charity case or a personal project for you to try to be Miss Fix-It or Mr. Fix-It or Mix Fix-It. No. You got to be with them because you love them and you don't want to change them. And that's hard because I know in the past I have been the Miss Fix-It, and I'm going to go find a charity project, a charity case, and a personal project that I'm going to work on, and I'm going to try to fix this girl, I used to tell myself that, and it truly is terrible because you can't change or fix anyone, That person has to want to change themselves. And that's a hard truth, okay? But that's what the serenity prayer touches on, meaning that you have control over certain things and you have to make those calls, right? So for example, who you date is very big. It's also it's what you have control over. No, you cannot control the person you are with or romantically involved with, but you can make sure you choose someone who you do not want to change. That's significant. That's huge. I know from experience that every single relationship taught me a lot of things. I'm sure that the person you are considering has dated at least once before, hopefully, and that means that they have some experience that they can also pull on. They have some experience and some knowledge that they can pull from and utilize towards your relationship so they can be a better partner for you, and vice versa. You should be doing your own reading, and if you have never dated before, that's totally fine. But you should be doing some research, which is what you're doing right now, right? You looked for this video. So make sure that you are loving yourself enough to walk away from what is not meant for you and run towards what is meant for you. If you do not know exactly what I mean, listen to your intuition, your gut feeling. There are certain people in your life who you love and you care about, but there's a little bit of uncertainty when you're around them. Trust that. I'm not talking about romance. I'm talking about friends or family members. Yeah, that feeling of cognitive dissonance of something's just not right here. Something just doesn't make sense here. That feeling. I know you know what I'm talking about. The little sinking feeling in your stomach and the lump in your throat. Trust that. That means you should be questioning that person's place in your life. Right now I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about other things that don't have to do with dating right now. A lot of us could do a little bit of spring cleaning, couldn't we? Includes with people in our lives. Some of us keep certain people around just because we don't know what to do with them. We don't know if we should let go because we're comfortable, we're complacent, we're complicit. I do that. There are certain people who are not good for me. For example, I'm sober, and there's certain people who might not be good for my sobriety, right? If I really take a deeper look. That's a conversation I've got to have with myself. And as you can see, I already have started the conversation, but I need to finish it. Now, this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships, of course. Like I said, this applies to friendships and family members, and yeah, lots of different places. So make sure that you're loving yourself. Now, it's okay to be in a relationship, but you got to ask yourself, are you taking care of you? Now, you love this person, you're dating this person, it's all amazing, it's bliss, it's heaven, but do you take time to yourself? You must take time to yourself, okay? You can love someone deeply, you can want to be with them, spend every waking moment with them, and you pretty much can. Just make sure you take a little bit of time to yourself. Maybe take a shower by yourself. Maybe take a meditation bath by yourself. Maybe go for a nice nature walk by yourself. Go to the gym by yourself. Do something that's just for you. Reading a book at night, whatever. Because that's important, that you have time to yourself. Okay, so now that you've taken my relationship dating crash course, I think you're ready to hit the road here. So remember, you must embody unconditional love. Number 1. And the rest will follow. And in the words of RuPaul, honey, if you don't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anyone else? Peace, love, and God bless.